Welcome to Mike Brown Barbecue. Today I'm going to show you how I do Texas style pork baby back loin ribs on this 250 gallon offset smoker from start to finish. Stay tuned. Alright folks, it's time to get us a fire started. What I'm doing here is just a simple way of fire starting. Just love charcoal. And then we'll go on. Just dry oak. Out of my dry oak pile. I want to burn me down a decent coal bed for this. And that's going to be about right there. I have to get caught up here in a minute. Let's go season up our ribs. Stay tuned, folks. So what we're doing today is baby back ribs. Run of the mill baby back ribs I got from my local grocery store. I'm not the hugest fan of baby back ribs. I do like to eat them, but I hadn't done a video on them yet. So let's get them opened up. The good thing about baby back ribs is you don't have to do a whole lot of trimming on them. When I pick out baby back ribs, I want the ones that got the most loin meat right up here on top. I'll give you an example of what I don't want on baby back ribs is how thin the meat is going down these bones right here, but I didn't have much to choose from. So typically what I like to do is come right here and trim this last bone off. It's a little thin. That'll be a little pit master snack, and you can see that's some good marbling in that baby back rib right there. And I like to come down here to the last bone on this end, trim it off. That way we get an even cooking baby back rib. Round off any corner if you can, if there's no bone there. And just like that, we got a baby back rib trimmed up. Nothing hard about that, folks. Alright, so now I got my clean hand, and there's nothing special I'm going to do with these baby back ribs. Flip them around to the back, and I'm going to hit them with my 16 mesh black pepper. I do not peel the membrane off none of my ribs. My theory on that is this membrane helps lock in moisture. When you take it off, it makes for a drier rib. Not to offend nobody, my personal opinion is if you don't know how to make this bite through, then you don't know how to cook them. So we'll get these seasoned up. We'll hit them with some 16 mesh black pepper. Don't forget your sides. Just like that, generous coat. Then y'all guys already know what I'm going to use next. Fiesta seasonal salt. My favorite go-to here lately. This combination just works. It's doing it for me here lately. I haven't got tired of it, so it hadn't been changed up. Alright, we got that side seasoned up. Let's do the presentation side. 16 mesh black pepper. Generous amount of that. I'm a heavy pepper guy, so I put a little more on there. Probably most people do. And then our seasonal salt. Generous coat of that also. Just give it a little pat in. And one thing you'll notice that I don't ever do is I don't ever use binders. I don't believe in binders. And if I need to get a rack of ribs sticky, or any piece of meat sticky, I just hit it with a little bit of water, and it does just fine. No binder needed. Alright folks, so that's a seasoned up rib. It's looking real good, the way you want it to look. We'll let the seasoning adhere for a little bit, then we'll go throw it on a pit when our coal bed finishes burning down. Stay tuned. Alright folks, it's time to throw these ribs on. Coal bed is burnt down. Here's what these beauties are looking like. The pepper's set up in there. They're looking good. I'll put them right here in the middle, scrunch them up, put the thickest end toward the firebox. Just like that. Now, on my baby back ribs, I like to start them out at 250 for the first 2 hours and then go up to 275, 300 for the remainder of the cook. Point being is these cook really fast, and I want to flog the smoke to them as much as I can up front. So I'll go show you what wood we're going to put on. Start this cookout. Stay tuned. Alright folks, as you can see, the wood is burnt down. It's time to smash this into our coal bin. No! I want to move this coal bed as far up to the front as I can. I like my baby back ribs. I don't want them catching too much heat right up front. We'll go on with some dense red oak. What I like to run up front. Then in the first 3 hours of this cook, I'm going to use some real dense pecan. One more piece of red oak. That's taken off. We'll shut the door down to about 1 inch and let it do its thing. I anticipate that'll last me 2.5 hours. We won't look at these ribs for 3 hours. My baby backs normally take me about 4.5 to 5 hours to cook. So I'll see you guys when I either manage this fire or we take a look at them baby back ribs. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so it's been about 1.5 hours. My temp's dropping, which tells me this fire needs to be managed. So you can see everything is just about completely burned up. Smash all this down into the new coal bed. Still a little bit of this pecan left right here. We'll smash him down in the middle and let him burn. So that piece of pecan was really had a lot of moisture content in it, so it took a little while longer for it to burn. But the thing I'll say about this wood that I've got right here is I got it from a different wood supplier. It's smaller pieces of wood than what I'm used to running, so this fire is going to burn up a little bit quicker than normal. But still dense red oak. Come in here with a shovel, space everything out far away because I want this fire to run slow and low. One piece right here, and we'll go on with another piece of pecan up here in the front, keeping everything really spaced far apart. And I'll close my firebox door down to about 1/2 inch and let it do its thing. The combination of red oak and pecan is one of my favorite combinations to go through when I want to change up the smoke flavor. I don't like using straight up pecan. It gets a little bit overpowering if you don't burn a really clean fire. Mixing it with a red oak, it's more forgiving, so I like that. Alright guys, so we got 1.5 hours out of that. We're 1.5 hours into this cook. I should get another 1.5 hours out of that. At that point, the 3-hour mark, we'll check these ribs out and see what they're looking like. Alright folks, so we officially hit the 3-hour mark. This will be the first time we've looked at these ribs. We've been running 250 to 275 the whole cook, and those are looking real nice. I'm going to rotate these where this thick end is facing the firebox on both of these. Here's our other rack. It's looking real nice. And I'm going to let these thick ends catch some of that heat and show the thinner side of it over there. And I'll probably let this go for about 30 minutes like that, and then we'll wrap these. So I'll bring you guys back here in a minute when we wrap these or manage the fire. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so here's what our baby back ribs are looking like. They're a little bit darker than I would like to, but I think that's from that pecan smoke on them. That was kind of a dense piece of wood. So we'll put this off to the side right here, and we'll go down with homemade barbecue sauce. I will put The recipe for this in the description. Put down a generous amount of that, and then I'll go down with some simple syrup in an equal amount to match that. Give it some real good sweet, and we'll put this rib meat side down. Just like that. We'll repeat the process and catch the back side. Kind of rub it in a little bit on the back side. Just like that. And hit it with simple syrup also. Just like that. This is how I like to do my baby backs. A little bit more liquid in them than I would a spare rib, because these don't retain as much moisture as spare ribs do. They don't have as much internal fat. We'll wrap it up tight. Fold this over right here. Fold that guy right there. Be careful, this bone right here on the end has a tendency to bust through if you're not careful with it. Fold that down right there. And I've already knocked a hole in it. This is a little bit cheaper fold than I'm used to using, which is why I got 2 sheets. So I knocked a hole in it, so we'll double fold this. Come right there with that one. Right there with that one. Bend it down. Bend it down. It's wrapped nice and tight. This is wrapped nice and tight. It will go back on the smoker for about another hour. I am going to have to manage this fire one more time, so I'll bring you guys back for that. Just a recap of where we're at so far is I've run these ribs at 250 to 275. I've run a really smoky fire to get the smoke flavor that I want on these, because baby back ribs don't take in smoke very long. So I wanted to capture that. We got these wrapped up. We'll put them back on the pit, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to pull them. Alright folks, stay tuned. This will be the last time we manage this fire. I got 2 hours of burn time out of this. We just got through wrapping up our ribs. At this point, all I'm worried about is the heat. I'm going to smash this up to a new coal bed. I'm going to put our next pieces on. Go on with just some regular dry red oak. Probably about 15% moisture. Some of my lighter pieces. Put these on and let them do their thing. I'll get another 2 hours burn time out of this, but I think my ribs will be done before then. We just got through wrapping them ribs up, and I expect them to take about an hour from the time that I wrap them and put them back on here. This will be it. Last time we manage a fire. Next time you guys see me is when we check to see if the ribs are done. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we are at almost the 5 hour mark, a little bit shy. I got a feeling these ribs are done. Let's check them out. Alright, so it's kind of hard to feel when you got them double wrapped like that. So what I like to do with baby backs, because they're kind of a compact piece of meat, is unwrap them and then fill them. And you see how those are bending without breaking. They're real floppy. Those are done. They bend real easy. If I wanted to, I can break them in half, but I don't want to. That's what they're looking like, folks. So at this point, I'll put them back in. Now, if these are real bendy, to the point where they're going to break in half real easy, unwrap them and leave them open for a minute, cool off, and then wrap them back up, and that'll stop the cooking process. Or borderline done. So what I'm going to do with them is wrap them back up. I'll wrap these back up and let them carry over for about 30-45 minutes. Unwrap them for about 15 minutes, let them cool, and then I'll slice into them. So these ribs are done. That's how you tell if your baby back ribs are done. Or you can take a toothpick and probe them for tenderness, but I don't do that with ribs. I just check them for doneness. I forgot to mention that we ran the smoker after wrapping at 300 degrees to finish these out. So these are taking 4 hours and 45 minutes roughly to finish up. I'm gonna let these rest for a little while. The next time you guys see me, when we slice these ribs, stay tuned. All right, folks, the time has come. Go ahead and cut these ribs. This is what they're looking like. They're real nice and pliable, which means they're done. They've been resting for about an hour and a half in the foil. On these baby back ribs, I've just gotten to where, you know, I take them off when they're feeling a little bit tight still, but still bend, and then just let them rest in the foil for about an hour, hour and a half, and then they come out to be right at the perfect tenderness. So let's get these sliced up. That's about all I'm gonna slice right there. We'll take one of these ones out the middle right there. And look at that, folks. You see how juicy? See how juicy that rib is? That is juicy. See how juicy that rib is, folks? Look at all the juice running out of that. That's what you want on a baby back rib right there. Tons of moisture retention. But y'all seen how juicy that rib was, folks? That was how you want your baby back ribs to look. We got nice bark on them. They are a little bit dark for my liking, but using that pecan wood, I find things get a little bit darker. So only one thing left to do. Let's try some of these out. All right, folks. So we got these cut up. Only one thing left to do is try them. My annoying cock over there thinks he's got to crow every 10 minutes. So as you can see, tons of moisture retention in these ribs. Here comes the moment of truth right here. If you can't bite through this rib clean off the bone, then you didn't do your job. So let's find out how we did. Perfect bite right there. Clean to the bone. Here's that membrane on the bottom I was telling you about earlier. So yeah, this rib is eating real nice. Perfect bite through texture. Couldn't ask for better. We'll try one more. And you see the membrane right here? It's rendered down. I'm gonna bite right through it without pulling it at all. If you can't bite through your membrane like that on your rib, then you ain't doing it right. That rib was cooked perfect. Can't quite pull the bone out, but you can bite the meat clean off the bone, which is to me the perfect way that ribs should be cooked. Let's go through a recap of this cook. We started around 9:30ish at 250 in the first hour, jumped up to 275 until we got ready to wrap on the third hour. Then we sauced it, put the simple syrup in the wrap, wrapped it tight, put it back on the smoker for another hour. About the 3.5 hour mark, we wrapped these things up, and then an hour later, they were done. We bumped our temp up to 300 degrees in that last hour and finished the ribs off. Took them out. I let them rest for an hour and a half. And this is what we got, folks. We got some beautiful Texas style baby back ribs. They're good, but I like pork spare ribs better. So maybe this will help somebody. Super easy cook, whether you do it on this 250-gallon smoker or you do it on a pellet grill. Either way, can't go wrong with it. You get the salt, the pepper, you get that hint of pecan smoke in there, which I really like. It's smokier, it stands out. The sauce melted with the pork fat juices and all that came together real nice. Just all in all, a very good, juicy rib. I mean, just look at that. How juicy that is, folks. Couldn't ask for a better product. Pretty much it, guys. Hopefully y'all like this video. If you do like it, please hit the like button and subscribe and look out for more content. Hopefully we'll get to 1,000 subs here soon. Thanks for watching. Peace out.